Real estate agents, if you have listings that are not selling as of June 2025, or you're planning on taking more listings in 2025 and you want to ensure success, I'm going to give you the 4 essential keys to succeeding as a listing agent here in 2025. Look, we all know that the market is more challenging in 2025 than it has been in some time. We know that inventory is increasing. We know that affordability is a challenge. We know interest rates have stayed relatively higher, at least than they have been in recent years. And so you as a listing agent have sellers who want to get their home sold, and perhaps the property is languishing on the market. You're not getting enough showings. Your seller is saying, do your job, get my home sold, and you're not exactly sure what to do. I'm going to tell you right now how to make sure you succeed. So that being said, here are the 4 keys to listing success in 2025. Number 1 is you've got to position the property properly. Okay, so what do I mean? Positioning is, how does that property situate relative to the other properties in the marketplace? See, the number 1 job that a listing agent has for their seller is to help that seller's property stand out, is to help it be different than all of the other options available. Now, you as a listing agent, of course, are not responsible for the home, right? The finishes, the condition, etc. Of course, you need to get it prepared, but you want to make sure you're positioning the home properly. Unfortunately, we all know the agents who simply take a listing or buy a listing just to have a listing on the market. They go on the fishing trip with the seller, right? The agent's the bait. Okay, they're just, let's throw it out there and see if anybody bites strategy. And that's not a good strategy really ever, but especially not in 2025. Instead, we've got to position that property in a way where it's going to stand out amongst the competition. Now, that could include your marketing plan. It will include your marketing plan. It will include what marketing collateral you create for that property. It will include how you present and show that property when you have buyers come. Maybe you know the listing agent that never shows up for the buyer's agent and the buyer showing, right? That won't work in 2025. Sellers don't hire you to list their property, they hire you to sell their property. And so positioning is one of the key elements, and that includes how you show the property. So positioning is number 1. Okay, number 2, we all know what comes next. It's price. Now, what sells real estate? Price. Some would say it's condition, some would say it's location. And of course, those things are true, but that's always baked into the price. And so pricing really matters in 2025. No longer can we put a price out there and buyers are going to be coming because there's just not a lot of inventory, and they'll come and see it and maybe we'll put a deal together, right? You have got to be really good with your pricing strategy, because you don't have time to waste, listing agent. You don't have reputation to burn, listing agent. You don't want to be that agent that's stacking listings and isn't selling any of them. You want to be the agent who positions the property, prices it properly, and gets the property sold. So pricing is essential, and we've got to be very much a student of the market today. We've really got to know our stats. We've really got to know our trends. I just shot a market update video here for our marketplace, which is Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. And I was able to, articulate median single-family home price point, average home price point, percentage of original list price, time to days to contract. How many months of supply do we have? You need to know all that stuff, and even more so, you need to know it down to the neighborhood and even the street level. And so pricing is critical. And I encourage you, if you're not really sure how to do your pricing, get with your broker, get with a great coach, someone who can help you really set up pricing, and then be able to convey that pricing strategy to your seller in a way that helps them understand their positioning, so that then they can get their home sold and they don't sit on the market longer than what would be a reasonable amount of time based on the then current market statistics. Okay, number 3 is going to be perseverance, right? Or said another way, persistence, right? Kind of the same thing, but you have got to persist, you have got to persevere. Because in this environment, we've got to now level set our expectations and the expectations of our sellers around how long this is going to take. From really 2019 ramping up 2020, 21, homes were selling fast, right? I've been in the real estate business now going on 25 years. And so it was never an unreasonable idea that a home would take 30, 45, 60 days to go under contract, maybe longer. But some of us who are maybe relatively new, or we've gotten used to a market where homes just move very quickly at or near their list price, just really don't understand what it is to persist and persevere over the long term. And I also am saying persist and persevere in the way we communicate to our sellers and the way we show up to the marketplace. It might be your 10th showing. It might be your 10th week. It might be your 20th week. It might be your 20th showing. And you're going to have to persist and persevere with the same level of energy and enthusiasm on that 20th showing as you did on the first one. Right? You're going to have to maintain that high level of professional integrity on the 20th week as you did on the first week. Right? You following me? And so being persistent and perseverant is an essential quality of success for a listing agent in 2025. And then number 4 is patience. That's right. I know it's not an easy thing to do, to be patient and allow the process to unfold. But patience is going to be so critically important for us to, number one, manage our own mindset, manage our own energy set, manage our own levels of expectations, manage the expectations of our families, manage the expectations around our own personal finances, because we've got to now build in a longer time horizon for transacting. And so, of course, what you can do there as a way to offset how much longer it might take to get your listings under contract is to get more listings. It is true right now that there are a lot of sellers raising their hands, recognizing perhaps that we've reached kind of a crowning point or a cap in the market value for this stage of the cycle. In particular, given the affordability, we're seeing a shift into a buyer's market because we have so much more inventory and a decrease in buyer demand. And so, there's a lot of sellers raising their hands. There's expired listing opportunities and absentee owner opportunities, certainly in my market, South Florida, where we've got a lot of second or third homes. Maybe in your market, it's that way too. But there's a lot of sellers raising their hands. And so to offset the requirement to be more patient, you can just increase your listing inventory, which means over time, you'll start picking up those consistent closings. Just might take a little bit longer. But of course, then the cascade effect of having more listings means always more closings. So again, you're going to have to position the seller's property properly. You're going to have to price the seller's property properly. Persistence and perseverance and patience. Now, here's a bonus item for you, and that is through this whole process is to make sure that you're taking care of you. You know, at the end of the day, it's going to be impossible to take care of others, your home sellers, your home buyers, your family, anyone in your world that's relying on you, looking at you as the leader that you are, to ensure that you're there for them in the way that they need you to be there. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to make sure you care for yourself first. Put your own oxygen mask on first. And so that's your bonus essential tip for succeeding as a listing agent here in 2025. Okay, hope you like the video. Keep watching. I put out content every single week helping real estate agents succeed. As a broker owner of a 100 plus agent office, #1 top workplace in all of South Florida the last 3 years, we really pour into our people. We put a lot of training and coaching and support into helping our people succeed. And I record these videos because I want to provide to you the best of what I know works here in an office and on the street level for agents right now. See you again.